Sagittarius, come here for a moment. Sit a little closer, because what I'm about to tell you today is not something you can hear with half a heart or distracted ears. I want you to take a deep breath, place your hand over your chest, and let your soul open to every word I'm about to speak. Because the energy surrounding you right now is so strong, my old hands are still trembling a little from touching it. The signs that appeared before me this morning were so clear, so direct, that I had to stop for a long moment just to steady myself. It feels like an invisible stream from the universe is pouring straight into your life, especially as Wednesday the 26th approaches like a wide-open doorway. Before you say your usual "I'm fine," I want to ask you something that might make your heart tighten if you answer honestly. Look straight inside yourself and tell me. Have you been feeling a strange pressure in your chest lately? As if something enormous is shifting behind the invisible curtain of your life? Like a force getting ready to burst? Like a change big enough to make your entire inner world shake? I'm not asking because I'm curious. I'm asking because I know deep in the root of my intuition that what you're feeling is not an illusion, not anxiety, not imagination. It's the first sound of a wheel of destiny beginning to turn. And if anything I just said hits a soft spot in your chest, write down this one sentence to confirm to the universe that you're ready. I open myself to the good that is meant for me. You don't write that sentence to please me. You write it so your own soul can hear itself nodding at the truth. Because the pressure you feel is the sign of an event that will split your life into before and after. A turning point not everyone wants to see you step into. There are people, Sagittarius, who tremble at the thought of you rising. They are not afraid of you falling. They are afraid of you flying. I want you to think carefully. Who would lose sleep knowing you finally reached what you deserve? Who smiles at you with their lips, but their eyes dim whenever you're happy? Who laughs with you, yet secretly hopes you fail? When I look into the energy around you, I see them clearly. Those who stand in the dark but still want to control someone else's light. But I also see something else. The cycle opening for you will make them taste the same bitterness you've endured in silence for so long. Not as punishment, but as proof that the universe never forgets anyone. My Sagittarius, there was a sign so strong it sent a chill down my spine. Right before my hands even touched the deck, a card jumped out. And anyone who reads cards knows that is never an accident. It is a direct warning, a door of destiny opening by itself. A small flame burning in your palm, showing that an old cycle of heaviness and shadow is finally breaking apart. And I wonder, as you hear this, do you know which shadow has been clinging to you all this time? Was it a person? A memory? A doubt? A wound you pretended had healed? I want you to be honest with me and with yourself, because what I see is painfully clear. Whatever or whoever once held power over you no longer does. You are rising from a depth even you were afraid to look at. And the part that moves me most is that no one around you believed you could. They thought you were fragile, easy to break, easy to discourage, easy to push aside. but they forgot something. Sagittarius carries an arrow forged from the fire of truth, and you only need one moment of awakening to hit a target other people are too afraid to even aim at. Now tell me, child, what has been making your heart tighten whenever you close your eyes? Write it down, say it out loud, because this message came to you today for one purpose: to untie that knot. And what I hear from your energy right now is clear, clean, sharp like metal under sunlight. There is nothing dangerous around you. No one is lurking to harm you. Your fear lives in your memory, not in your present. You've been carrying a storm long after the sky has cleared. You've been walking under a cloud that has no rain left in it. But listen closely, because this is the key to the entire reading. You cannot walk into your new path carrying the shame someone else placed in your hands. You cannot break through while still holding guilt that never belonged to you. You cannot fly while your heart is weighted down by words that were never true. There was someone who once had far too much emotional power over you, so much that their energy shaped your confidence, your peace, even your sense of worth. But that attachment, that old cord, has finally snapped. I feel the presence of something ancient, an ancestor, a guardian soul standing right behind you, placing a gentle hand on your shoulder, guiding you into the place where you truly belong. If you've been feeling yourself change lately without knowing why, as if you're growing from the inside out, don't be afraid. You're not lost. You're not confused. This is the awakening of a soul that has slept for far too long. And when a soul wakes up, conversations that once felt fun start to feel empty. People you used to cling to suddenly feel distant. Connections that were once comfortable now feel heavy. It's not because you're cold. It's because the universe is removing you from frequencies that no longer match your future. And in this time, you'll start meeting new people, people who feel light the moment you encounter them, people who are clearer, kinder, more grounded, more honest. They're not appearing by chance. They belong to the chapter you are about to enter. And all of this, every shift, every pressure, every cleansing leads to one message. Wednesday, the 26th, is the opening of a door, and you must walk through it with a heart no longer tied down. Sagittarius, sit here with me a little longer, because the energy in your reading today isn't just strong. It carries a tone so distinct that the whole room around me felt like it trembled. There is something both a warning and a blessing, and I have to tell it to you, slowly, clearly, sincerely, because it will touch the deepest place inside your soul. In your cards, a presence appeared so bright, so undeniable, that I had to stop moving my hands, take a long breath, and steady my own heart. Someone, some soul, is stepping into your life, or is already standing very, very close. And I find myself wondering, and I want you to tell me even if it's just a vague feeling. Have you sensed someone's energy wrapping around you lately, in a way that no logic, no explanation can fully describe? A connection beyond the eyes, beyond the body, something that shoots straight into the soul? Do you, Feel that with someone, just one extra second of eye contact could make every wall you've built collapse? Has anyone made your heart beat in a rhythm that feels familiar and yet strangely new, as if your souls have met somewhere long before you were born? I want you to know this. That person is not coming to confuse you like the ghosts of your past. They're coming to steady you. They don't bring chaos, they bring peace. They don't bring questions, they bring answers. They don't make you perform or pretend, they let you be yourself, fully, openly, without defense. This person carries intentions so pure that their energy cuts through even the deepest fears you've kept hidden. But I must tell you the truth. Their arrival will stir jealousy in those who cannot handle seeing you shine. Nothing bothers empty souls more than watching a Sagittarius love deeply, wildly, authentically, and being loved back with the same intensity. Now listen, carefully, my strong Sagittarius child, because this part matters. In the cards, I also saw the shadow of someone who does not want to lose control of you, not because they love you, but because you were once their source of emotional supply. They will try to pull you back, but not for your happiness, only to soothe their fear of losing power. They will return with the same old tears, the same practiced apologies, the beautiful promises wrapped like candy but never fulfilled. And I say this with all the love of an old man who has seen the darker corners of human nature. You must not fall into that trap again. You've walked through enough nights to understand a simple truth. A door that never opens for you is not your door. Life is pushing you forward with the force of a mighty wind. And that person from your past will try every old tactic. Guilt, memories, nostalgia, words meant to soften your heart. But you are no longer living in that chapter. You have fallen, you have hurt, you have grown, you have learned. This time, you choose yourself instead of choosing the chains someone else wrapped around your emotions. And here is the part that made me smile when I saw it appear in your reading. The victory coming to you is so big that it will silence the entire world around you. A victory that touches everything: your emotions, your path, your destiny, your peace, your recognition. The rise of your spirit will be so powerful that those who underestimated you won't understand how you surpassed them so completely. And now I want to ask you something. A question you must answer with your soul, not your mouth. Are you truly ready for your life to change so much that you may not recognize yourself in the mirror? Because that is what I see, a transformation so deep that your soul breaks free from every old mold and steps into its most beautiful shape. In your reading, I saw tears on your face. But, my little Sagittarius, this time, they are not tears of sadness. They are tears of release. Tears of someone who finally drops a heavy backpack they've been carrying for lifetimes. Tears of someone who finally knows their worth without begging for love, without proving anything to anyone. You were never broken. You were being forged in fire. What you lost was not punishment, it was clearing space for what is sacred. That is how destiny works. And I say this with the love of an old man who has watched hundreds of souls crawl toward their light. Do not go back to the place that stole your peace. Do not return to the space where you shrank yourself. Do not walk back into rooms where your smile faded and your light was dimmed by people who were never meant to stand beside you. You were not born to live under anyone's shadow. Your victory has already been written in the same fire that Sagittarius carries in the heart. And the closer you get to that victory, the more uneasy your enemies become, because they know they can't stop you anymore. They can't stain your light. They can't block the blessing racing toward you faster than you expect. Do you see it, my Sagittarius child? Everything in the universe is moving with perfect precision. The closer your moment comes, the stronger the energy swirls around you, not to scare you, but to push you into the path that belongs to you. And now, I will say this slowly, softly, so your heart can absorb it. What awaits you is not a temporary stroke of luck, not a chance that comes and goes, not a fleeting moment. It is the sacred reward of your own life. The crown you're about to receive is made from every night you cried in silence, every moment you stood strong when no one knew, every time you rose when even you didn't know how. The universe remembers every tear. There is something in you today that makes me deeply proud. You have grown through blows that would have shattered other people instantly. And yet here you are, stronger, clearer, more radiant than ever. And yes, my Sagittarius, your heart is still raw, still honest, still alive in a way most people will never understand. You feel the world inside your chest. And that is why the burdens you've carried quietly, without asking for anything, are as great as the blessings destiny is preparing for you. Those who live only on the surface will never understand the meaning of the silent endurance you've survived. There is something I have to tell you right now, because it appeared in your reading this morning so clearly that I couldn't close my eyes and ignore it. On your spiritual path, a doorway is opening. Not a doorway your physical eyes can see, but a threshold between who you have been and who you are about to become. A transition, a farewell, and a beginning, all happening at the same sacred moment. A moment only souls who have grown through pain can recognize. And you, Sagittarius, who pretends to be carefree, but holds on so tightly to what is familiar, you will have no choice but to let this door close behind you. What leaves your life now doesn't vanish at random. It leaves because it no longer belongs to your soul. It may be a relationship that has run out of lessons, a friendship that has become a tight, uncomfortable shirt, a habit that drains you, or a fear that has clipped your wings for far too many years. I know how hard releasing is for you. You don't let go with coldness. You let go through tears. You ask why 1,000 times. You try to save what has already died. You hold on to the remnants simply because you once loved them. But this time, the universe will cut that cord for you because it knows you wouldn't do it yourself. It knows your heart is too beautiful to destroy anything you once believed in, even if it no longer fits the person you're becoming. And when that moment arrives, you will feel something mixed, a deep relief, wrapped in emptiness. Something familiar slips out of your hands and leaves behind a silence that shakes you. That's when you must remember my words. If something falls away naturally, it has already fulfilled its purpose in your life. It has nothing left to teach you, and what has no more lessons should not be held on to. Don't pick it up from the floor. Don't cradle it because it once felt familiar. Don't run back to reopen a door that has closed. Walk forward, because the moment you take that step, a new energy appears so bright that I had to blink when I saw it. It tells me that a new presence is moving toward your life, steady as the earth, warm as a loved one's hand, and honest in a way eyes cannot hide. This person is not coming to play with your heart the way others once did. They come like a lighthouse in a storm, not to replace anyone, not to numb old wounds, but to walk beside you. They come to honor you, the real you, the strong you, the sincere and beautiful you. And I want you to answer me, even if only inside your chest. Have you felt someone's presence lately? Someone who looks at you with eyes that listen, with no judgment, no rush? Someone who understands you intuitively, faster than people who have known you for years? Someone who makes you feel seen, truly seen? If the answer is yes, you are standing in front of one of the greatest gifts destiny has ever sent you. But listen, my strong, sensitive Sagittarius heart, I must tell you this too. Not everyone will be happy to see you grow. Not everyone applauds when you rise. Some people felt very comfortable when you were struggling because your struggle made them feel okay. Your pain made them feel safe. Your confusion made them feel superior. And now, as you stand up again, as your light grows stronger, as you begin receiving what has always been yours, their eyes will change, colder, sharper, and you will feel it instantly because you are one of the most intuitive souls on this planet. You always know when a gaze is no longer innocent. You feel when a compliment carries a sting. You sense when someone's motives aren't pure. And the lesson you must learn is this: don't take it personally. It says nothing about you. It only says they are hurting because they cannot rise with you. And here is what I need you to carve into your spirit. Do not shrink yourself so others don't feel small next to you. Do not dim your dreams to make others feel less jealous. Do not hide your light because someone else can't handle your brilliance. Light is meant to shine, not lock itself in the dark. You deserve what's coming, and even more. You will feel a new strength rising inside you. A force that pulls you out of bed even on the darkest days. That is your soul finally taking the wheel of your life after years of playing a background role. Your mind will sharpen. Your intuition will intensify. Your creativity will open like a new door. You may start dreaming more vividly, dreams full of symbols. You may feel chills when someone thinks about you. You may sense events before they happen. None of this is random. It is destiny whispering, "Your time has come, Sagittarius." Look around, Sagittarius. The repeating signs, the numbers, the mirrored hours, the feather that falls at the exact moment of your uncertainty, they all point in one direction. You are walking your true path. Do not fear these signs. They are not dark magic, not something dangerous. They are the private language of the universe, a language you've known since you were a tender, innocent child. But through the years, afraid of being judged, afraid of being called too sensitive, too dreamy, you learned to silence that gift and hide it away. Now, that gift is returning, stronger, clearer, ready to reclaim its place in your life. Your intuition, that quiet breath on your ear that only you can hear, is the compass of your new chapter. When logic fails, when the mind is confused, that voice will guide you with a precision that gives you chills, and you must trust it. Not because I say so, but because your soul has known this truth for a very, very long time. As I speak to you, I feel a force so powerful it's blowing away the last pieces of darkness around your life. Your life is about to change, but this time, the change will not take anything precious from you. It will not break you. It will not shatter you. It will not wound you. It will bring peace. You, a sign rooted in loyalty, stability, and home, will welcome this change the way a thirsty traveler welcomes water in the desert. It is time you are treated with kindness. Not because you're lucky, but because you've paid far too high a price already. It is time your heart breathes again. It is time your walls soften. And listen closely, because more will be revealed, far more than what you can imagine. When I look deeper into your energy, I see you entering a sacred stage few people truly understand. Because to reach this place, you had to walk through nights where only your pillow knew how salty your tears were. You stayed silent so you wouldn't burden anyone. You hid your pain so no one would worry. You held everything together for everyone except yourself. And now the universe, fair and wise, is returning to you what you deserve. Clarity, direction, and a kind of inner strength you didn't even know you had. Not a loud strength, but a quiet one. The strength of someone who has survived enough storms that no thunder can shake them anymore. And there is something important the cards showed me, and I need you to hear it with your heart. You are shedding an old version of yourself, a protective shell that once saved you in toxic environments where you had to shrink to survive, where silence kept you safe, where being small kept you unnoticed. That shell was armor, but now it is a chain, and it is beginning to crack. The part of you that bent for others, that said, "I'm fine," while breaking inside, that lowered your needs to avoid disappointing anyone, that part is dissolving. Not because you hate it, but because you no longer need it. You are entering a stage of awakening, where your dignity is restored, and your heart finally knows its true worth. Do not fear seeing yourself change in the mirror. Do not fear questioning the things you once silently accepted. This transformation isn't arrogance, it is healing. It is you reclaiming something that should have been yours a very long time ago. But you must listen carefully to this part, because it matters for the days ahead. This reading signals an ending. Not a painful ending, but a liberating one. A chapter is closing because it has nothing left to teach you. You're about to face a moment that will make you realize you cannot keep holding on to something that has weighed on your heart for far too long. And when that moment comes, let go. Let go even if it hurts. Let go even if you feel regret. Let go even if emptiness rises in your chest. Because that emptiness will be filled immediately with something better, purer, something that fits the new version of you that is emerging. And now, let me tell you the most miraculous thing that appeared in your reading. There is someone entering your energy like a shelter in the middle of a storm, not a fragile affection, not someone who disappears when you need them, not a temporary spark that dies within weeks. This person has roots. This person has maturity, a heart that knows how to give and how to receive love, eyes that look at you as though you are something rare. They are not coming to save you. They are coming to build with you. This is someone you won't have to explain your pain to in long sentences. They will understand you intuitively. Someone whose presence alone will make you feel safe, seen, heard, and respected. This is not ordinary love. This is love arriving at the exact moment your soul is ready, when your past suffering has completed its mission, when a new doorway has opened in front of you, when your heart is finally strong enough to receive what you truly deserve. And I know that right now, deep inside your free but scarred heart, you are hesitating. You are building an invisible wall, not because you are cold, but because you are afraid. Afraid to trust again. Afraid to hope again, only to discover it was just pretty words with an empty core. Afraid your heart might break in ways only you and the night understand. I don't blame you. No one who has ever loved deeply fears softly. Fear after heartbreak is as natural as breathing. But hear me. The presence entering your life now is not here to reopen old wounds, not here to bleed old memories. They are here to walk beside you. And there is something very special about them that appeared in the reading, and I want you to listen with the focus of an awakened soul. This person cherishes your essence, not your appearance, not what you own, not what you can give, not your material value. They see your soul. They see your light and your shadows. And they choose you without requiring you to become a more lovable version of yourself. And you, the one who once tried to please everyone just to keep a little bit of affection, you will, for the first time in a very long time, feel this truth. You do not need to shrink yourself to be chosen. You only need to be you with your loud, contagious laugh, your honesty that sometimes shakes people, your fiery heart and tender kindness that once made you vulnerable. And that is enough. This, Sagittarius, will touch the deepest core of your soul, because it's been so long since you were loved the right way. And this is the moment when something you believed impossible, emotional stability, inner peace, quiet stillness, begins to reveal itself. You once believed these things only existed in books, because you came from chapters filled with slamming doors, doubt, and sudden blows from fate that taught you to always be on guard. But this time will be different, I promise you, with everything sacred in me. This time, love will no longer be a battlefield. It will be a home, a place where you can breathe. And when you touch that peace, you will understand why you had to wait so long. You weren't abandoned by the universe. You were being prepared to receive the gift at the moment you could finally appreciate it. But at the same time, I see familiar shadows from your past stirring. Those who once liked you small, soft, easy to guide, easy to manipulate, they will not feel comfortable when they see you reborn so powerfully. When they see you happy without needing them, when they see you mature without seeking approval, Their jealousy will rise in their eyes, even while their mouths pretend to smile. And you will notice it instantly, because you don't just hear what people say, you hear what they hide. You feel bad energy even when it's wrapped in harmless jokes. You read intentions even when they are disguised behind a smile. And I want you to remember this as a sacred oath. Never shrink yourself so the weak don't feel small next to you. Do not ask permission to be happy. Do not apologize for growing. Do not bow your head because your light makes someone uncomfortable. They must face their own shadows. You are not here to save anyone. When I look deeper into your reading, I see something rising, like the sunrise. You are stepping into the golden era of your fulfillment. Something connected to your life purpose, a talent, an instinct, a forgotten skill is about to awaken. You once hid it because you feared you weren't good enough, because people mocked you, or because you thought maybe no one would care. But now, that part of you wants to live, wants to breathe, wants to shine. If you give it space, it will become one of the pillars of your new life. And your intuition, O Sagittarius, it is becoming almost supernatural. You will start noticing what you once overlooked, synchronicities stacking on each other, signs you cannot dismiss. Your dreams will grow clearer, richer in symbolism, as if someone is sending you letters from the unseen world. Do not ignore any of these signals. You were born with a radar for the invisible. Life once covered it to help you survive your wounds. But now, that radar is awakening sharp, clean, powerful. And as I read further, I see your path opening in a very strange way. People leaving on their own, situations dissolving without effort, doors closing, plans collapsing for no obvious reason. Do not be angry. Do not cling. Do not swim against the current. Every departure is divine protection, even the ones that break your chest to pieces. And every empty space is room for the right thing to enter. My Sagittarius, you have been strong for too long. You have stood alone through too many nights. You have healed in silence, with a heart wrapped in promises others didn't keep. You have survived, and now it is time for you to live. It is time to receive, time to let the universe take care of you, time to let someone cherish you. Time for what always belonged to you to arrive as naturally as breathing. And all of this, I see it like a great river changing direction, powerful, unstoppable, carrying you toward a destiny filled with light, warmth, and truth, like the arms of a loving mother. You don't know this yet, but the hearts of your ancestors, the souls who walked before you, are smiling, because it is time. You have carried enough. You have suffered enough. Now, it is time to receive. And before we end this conversation of souls, I must show you one last thing. The thing glowing brightly, right where the reading ended. Something spectacular. Something undeniable. Something that will change your life in ways you never expected. I see an ancient, profound energy forming around you, protecting you like a sacred cloak, as if the entire universe is standing behind you, reminding you of a truth you forgot during your long journey of trying to find yourself. You were not born to live halfway. You were not born to hide in anyone's shadow. You were not born to suffer stories that do not belong to your soul. You were born to shine, to be free, to live the life your heart has always known was meant for you. There is a boundless light inside you that many tried to extinguish precisely because they saw it before you did. And there is a sign in the cards, loud, overwhelming, a deep inner calling, an awakening like an ancient echo you will begin to feel clearly. In the days ahead, you will feel something calling you from within. Not a voice, not an image, but a truth sitting in the center of your chest, needing no explanation, no logic, because it is truth itself. Then you will feel a shift, subtle but powerful, as if hidden puzzle pieces are finally snapping into place. A decision you once feared will suddenly feel as easy as breathing, not because it is less frightening, but because you are too tired to lie to yourself even one more time. This is the sign that you have entered a spiritual maturity where you can no longer cling to what doesn't fit, no longer pretend to be happy, no longer force yourself to endure. But that doesn't make it easy, because sometimes we have lived with pain for so long that the day it finally disappears, we feel empty instead of free. But do not mistake that emptiness for loss. That empty space is the exact place where something better, brighter, truer is making its way toward you. And there is something else rising so strongly in your energy that it fills my heart with both tenderness and pride. You have no idea how powerful your presence truly is. You are a rare kind of being, gentle, quiet, unforced. Yet the moment you enter a room, the atmosphere changes. Everything becomes calmer, brighter, more grounded. Your presence alone brings peace. That is a gift not many are born with, and you carry it as naturally as breathing. Have you ever wondered why some people react strangely to you for reasons you don't understand? Why they tense up? Why they feel threatened? Why they look at you with suspicion, even competition, despite knowing nothing about you? The reason is very simple. Your light exposes their darkness. Your light makes them confront the parts of themselves they have been running away from. And that discomfort becomes the root of envy, the quiet kind, the kind that hides behind polite smiles and friendly tones. This envy does not only come from obvious enemies, but sometimes from family, friends, people you trusted most, and that is what has hurt your heart the deepest. But do not worry, because that same light, the light that once attracted wounded people who drained you, is now becoming a magnet for souls who are gentle, honest, and aligned with you. People who love without fear. People who see you clearly. People who carry hearts as wide and minds as bright as yours. And I want you to listen closely. A phase of your life is ending, quietly, naturally, like an autumn leaf falling without anyone shaking the tree. You may not even notice the shift until you look back one day and realize, I'm no longer the person I used to be. Just like when you grow and suddenly the clothes from last year no longer fit. Not because something bad happened, but because you have outgrown them. The same thing is happening inside you, in your mind, in your spirit. You no longer fit the spaces you once lived in. You no longer laugh at the things that once amused you. You no longer find comfort in the places you used to hide. And that is not wrong. It is perfect. It is the mark of a soul evolving. And I want you to hear this as a prophecy written specifically for you. Your soul is craving a full renewal. You have lived inside a smaller version of yourself for far too long. People once told you you were too sensitive, too intense, too emotional, too much. And to keep the peace, to avoid making others uncomfortable, you shrank yourself. You softened your edges. You dimmed your light. But that old decree has been broken. Your true nature, radiant, honest, powerful, is rising. And that is why I see a spectacular blooming on your future path. Not the kind of blooming that exists for applause. Not the kind that grows quickly and withers even faster. This is blooming from the roots, from the truth, from years of wounds finally healing. And when a Sagittarius blooms from their soul, nothing and no one can extinguish that fire. And I feel something extraordinary coming toward you. An opportunity, a doorway, an invitation, an unexpected meeting. A moment so small, yet carrying a destiny so large that you will only understand its weight when you look back someday and whisper, "That moment, that was where everything began." But wait, let me tell you something from the deepest part of my old weathered heart. Do not fear the changes coming, even the ones that shake you down to the bone. Do not fear losing people who once walked beside you but can no longer follow the road you're on. Do not fear the judgment of those who only see your surface and have never once looked into your vast, beautiful soul. And never fear disappointing anyone who expects you to stay the way you were because you were not born to live inside their expectations. You came into this world to honor your truth, to walk a sacred path that only you can understand. And right now, your soul is speaking more clearly than ever. It is time to rise from the chair you have stayed in for far too long. It is time to lift your own torch again, to light the path you were born to walk without asking for permission, without waiting for approval. And in the midst of all these shifts, I see a powerful protective presence, a feminine spirit, deep and warm, with patience like a mother's arms, a soul from your lineage no longer in physical form, yet present in every breeze, every synchronicity, every sudden intuition. She has carried more pain in her lifetime than you could ever imagine. And now, she walks beside you as a cloak of light, guarding you from the traps you have fallen into too many times. She is guiding you into your rightful place in your family, in society, and in your own life. And in that sacred vision, I see a path opening so luminous it sends chills through even my old heart. A path where you can finally breathe without suffocating, where no one calls your emotions weak, where your sensitivity becomes a superpower, where you no longer shrink so others can feel big, where your soul expands into the full size it was always meant to be. And before this cycle of reading ends, I must deliver a final message, a blessing, a warning, and a clear instruction for the days ahead. People from your past, the ones who refuse to grow, who refuse to walk forward but also refuse to let you rise, will reappear. They will reach for you with messages, apologies, stories designed to soften your heart, Not from love, but from habit, from convenience, from the discomfort of seeing you evolve without them. And your compassionate heart may feel guilty, may feel responsible, may feel like you owe them something. But hear me with all the love and all the seriousness in my voice. Do not give anyone access to your mind and soul again if they were the ones who once broke you. Not because you are angry, but because you love yourself. Because your peace is not something to negotiate. This time, your heart will not shrink so others can feel comfortable. This time, you are building a sacred space where you can breathe, be yourself, and live without tiptoeing around anyone else's storms. And there is one more warning. There will be someone, a familiar face, someone you once trusted who returns the moment they see your glow again. When your career rises, when your vibration strengthens, when you become magnetic in the way only healed souls can be, they will return with kindness, with poetry, with apologies, with stories crafted to touch your empathy. And you may remember the old memories. You may wonder, what if? Or maybe, but let me say this as clearly as if I were holding your hands. If they were part of your destiny, they would never have abandoned you in the dark. They would never have left you to heal alone from wounds they created. I will not allow you to doubt your worth for even one more second. And as the final breath of warning fades, I return to the bright part, the part you need in order to walk forward. This closing, this letting go, is a sweet blessing. It opens a massive doorway into something vast, radiant, and miraculous. I see your energy rising like an arrow shot into the sky, your intuition opening like a spring forest, your spirit becoming steady as a mountain. You are rebuilding yourself from the ground up, but this time from truth, from freedom, from your own inherent light. And in that rebirth, something thrilling appears, a golden opportunity, a fated doorway, an invitation that shifts the entire trajectory of your life. At first, you may question it because it is too beautiful, too big, too different from what you once believed you deserved. But that is exactly what makes it important. You were not born to repeat what is old. You were born to open roads no one has dared to walk. Prepare yourself. What is coming is as vast as your Sagittarius soul. And even though this may overwhelm you a little, even though it may scare you, even though it may make you hesitate, I want you to trust and keep walking forward. Because the opportunity coming toward you is not meant for your old self. It is meant for the Sagittarius who is being reborn, growing stronger each day, and returning to their truest form more fully than ever before. And speaking of rebirth, the cards remind me once again of the presence of a particular soul warm as fire in a cold night coming into your path like a sanctuary from all the winds and storms you've had to walk through. But you must understand this clearly. This person is not entering your life to pedestal you and not to reshape you into anyone different. They come to see you exactly as you are, no more, no less, and to honor you with the kind of soul-level equality you have always longed for but rarely received. And for a heart like yours, a heart that has fought so many battles, that alone is a whole lifetime of peace, because you are no longer searching for dramatic, chaotic, exhausting love. You are searching for safety, for a real connection, for arms that make you exhale instead of constantly holding yourself together so you won't be hurt again. And I see this clearly. This person comes to remind you who you are, to show you that you deserve care. You deserve gentleness. You deserve the kind of love that places breakfast at your door without you having to ask, the kind of love that never makes you beg for attention or guess their feelings. And I know that right now you might think you don't deserve something that beautiful because you have lived on scraps and leftovers for far too long. So let me tell you something perhaps no one has ever said to you with kindness. You deserve a love that lifts you, not a love that drains you. And when this loving energy enters your life, I see a transformation within you as well. You begin to shift into a being of pure light, as if your soul is being rinsed, clean, made softer, lighter, free of all that was long overdue to be released. You will feel light as mist, walking as if you are gliding. And one morning, perhaps this coming Wednesday, the 26th, you will open your eyes and notice that your chest no longer hurts. The past no longer pulls you back. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself to anyone. You will exhale deeply and realize you are free. That is the moment the most beautiful part of this reading reveals itself. Life will begin to reward you. Little things at first, but precise, divine, perfectly timed. A strange synchronicity, an invitation, a message, a kind stranger, a door opening before you even knock. Together they form a perfect dance, as if the universe is conspiring to bring joy to you. And you, with your sharp intuition and ancient spiritual senses, will recognize it. You will trust yourself more. You will listen to that inner voice you've ignored for years. And then comes the final part, the moment destiny places its hand gently on your shoulder. A moment that shows you every pain you ever faced had a purpose. Nothing was wasted. No tear fell without meaning. Every goodbye taught you to choose yourself. Every silence trained you to hear your sacred inner voice. Every fall shaped you into someone who cannot be easily broken again. And even if you don't fully understand it yet, that new strength will steady your heart in the chapter you begin writing today, a chapter bright as sunrise, warm as morning air, true as breath, a chapter filled with what you deserve, not what you once begged for. Because for years, you begged for love, for attention, for understanding, for companionship from places incapable of giving it. But now, the universe is preparing to offer you something entirely different. Something a fire sign like you has craved your entire life. Emotional abundance, grounded confidence, powerful clarity, and opportunities no one can take away from you. I see the peace you once searched for in dark places finally making its way to you from the sky, from your heart, from the maturity you built with your own 2 feet. You no longer need anyone to complete you. You seek companionship from your wholeness, and that small shift changes everything. I see a wave of celebration coming toward you, a victory so great that even those who doubted you will fall silent. A triumph whose glow will not only illuminate your life, but also those you love. And you with your newfound calm, will not take revenge. You won't shout. You won't prove anything. You'll simply live. You'll be happy. And that alone will push the darkness behind you. Because now, the universe finally shows you were never forgotten. Everything has been arranged exactly for this moment. The moment you awaken and step into a chapter with no old shadows, no old fears, no invisible chains. And now, before we close, I want you to hear a question with your heart, not your mind. What would happen if for the first time in your life, you fully believed you are worthy of everything beautiful that is coming? Let that question echo in the silence. That is where the magic begins. And as we end this sacred moment today, you do not walk away empty-handed. You walk with protection unseen, support from your lineage, and the certainty that the universe is aligning itself on your behalf. Close your eyes for a second and feel my arms around you, holding you with immeasurable pride. May your heart find the peace it deserves. May your wounds transform into wisdom. May the approaching light find you with an open heart, unashamed, unafraid. Never forget this. You are strong. You are precious. And the most beautiful part of your life begins here. If what you heard today made you feel truly seen, I invite you to stay on this journey. Subscribe so the right messages find you on the right day, at the right moment, at the right destiny. Leave a message if your heart calls for it, not out of obligation, but as a declaration to the universe that you are ready. Thank you for allowing me to see your soul today. I will meet you in the next chapter.